Hello and welcome to 4,000 and counting. Mark is in the process of setting up his OnlyFans right now. As you can see, he is in a brothel. Um, we actually planned an intro for once and it went completely out the window when Mark's light just disappeared as we started the epi. Mark, there he is. There's the man himself. What's going on? Look, we're gonna keep it in because that's how we roll here at 4,000 counting. Could edit, we could do it again, but nah. Mark, what's going on?
Good man, good. Lots of walking, lots of talking. Now let's talk some more. Let's talk some more hockey this time. How about you? You good?
Well, I've got some good news actually. Really good news. Charity game's been confirmed, people, and well, obviously Bainstoke's our normal rink, with Bainstoke being up in the air, and we decided we had to make a decision. We had to pull the trigger. I had to get a date in the diary. So on Saturday, the 5th of August, Slough Ice Arena, 5 to 9 p.m. It's going to be a 4-on-4 tournament, 4,000 and counting style. We are going to be raising money for a motor neuron disease charity. Now, if anyone's familiar with Slough Jets' friend, Matt Parsons, Matt's tragically being diagnosed with motor neurons disease, and we actually reached out and contacted him about perhaps we do the game for him, and he said no, we do it for the charity. What a fucking guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Nice.
So that's going to be one of the charities. We're going to, obviously, we always like to do more than one charity because we like to help as many people as we can with these events. So with the Matt situation being like one of the hockey family, this year it's only going to be split 50-50. Other years we've done 3 charities, we've done 4 charities, but this year it's going to be a 50-50. So we're going to be announcing the other charity in due course. We're going to be announcing our first players very, very soon. We're going to be getting the jersey 53 designs out for you. Mr. Ali Cree up there in Sheffield's already going to be at work on it. I gave him the green light today that we're going. He hasn't let us down with our jerseys. That's a good point about the jerseys. Everybody that's ordered one, they've been sent out today. They should be with you tomorrow, day after. No, don't hold me to the Royal Mail. But we do still have a few jerseys remaining. We have Owen Dell and Richard Harris, both members of the Invicta Dynamos. Richard Harris has 100,000 followers on Instagram because he's a fucking stud. He's handsome as shit and he's fucking shredded. Buy his jersey. He's sweated on that, ladies. I'm telling you. He did. He fucking sweated on it. It's going to smell of him and his glorious abs. We then got the young stud, Mr. Owen Dell, who went out and ripped up America and has now come back to try and help the Dynamos over the line. We've also got Mr. Alistair Band and Jamie McElroy, co-founders of 4,000 and counting.
Beauties.
The UTs, and they're the red jerseys, which are my favorite ones we've ever done. They're so fucking cool. And it's only 50 quid, folks. It's helping the pod. It's going to get us to Nottingham. It's going to get us to the World Champs. Mark has a new computer, a new camera coming, a new microphone coming. Hey, maybe he's not going to look. Maybe he's not going to look like he's glowing in the dark anymore. But yeah, mate, it's all going on with 4,000 account, and we're really trying to bring better content to you guys. We are like, just things like backdrops, cameras, microphones, everything's getting a little bit more professional. We're bringing out more content all the time. You guys are following more all the time, which helps. And if you don't already, I think it's now down to like 72% of you don't subscribe that's watching the videos, which means there's a crazy amount of you that if you just hit subscribe right now, we will go into the monetization program and then we can start bringing even more content when we actually start getting paid some dough.
And better quality.
Better quality.
We're getting by here, but when we get more of you following and supporting us,
the money goes back in, right? We're not trying to get rich right now.
We get nothing from doing this.
We're trying
purely.
Yeah, but we want it to be better. So we want a better quality camera. We want a better quality microphone. We want a good camera for when we're in person. We don't want to have to fork out fucking 350 quid each to go to Nottingham at the weekend. But we want to be there for you guys. So these are the things that we're doing. So selling jerseys, you can be a patron. You can go to buy me a coffee. Well, if you've got a company and you want to get sponsored, we're regularly right there at the top of the Apple podcast charts. We're now venturing out into YouTube. Our Facebook page is nearly 6,000 followers. Twitter's over 3,000 now. Instagram's creeping up to 2,000. You know, like the followers are going up. And if you've got a business, it's smart business. We are going to be talking about one of our new sponsors very, very soon, but that's not going to be right now because we've got some ice hockey to talk about. Mark, where do you want to kick us off?
All right, let's start with the elite as we always do. But firstly, I think we should shout out up in the SNL. Did you hear of that?
Oh yeah, the Aberdeen Lynx. Yeah, shout them boys out. Championis, well deserved, and they've got a good crew up there. Lots of local lads, and I follow a couple of them on Instagram. And Fraser, I've followed him for fucking, I don't know. Me and him played against each other when we were kids. Well, he hung them up. And he said it was shit. And then he's now the coach, right? So he's won trophies there before, but he said like this is the best one as coach. Because he's like, I want to kill him on a Tuesday and a Thursday or whatever. I'm paraphrasing here, don't quote me, but like I want to fucking kill those boys. And then they win, and I love them. And it's just like that, high and low. And he said, like, start this. I was reading his Instagram post earlier, like start the season, just like wanting to fucking jump on the ice in a play. Do you know, like when you just retire and he's got the. It's like, oh, I'm the coach now. I need to like maybe chill down. So yeah, for him to win it is fantastic. You know, five have a team in there. Kirkcaldy Kestrels, Dundee have a couple of teams in there. The Comets and the Tigers, and then you've got like Adam Walker's, Paisley. There's a few teams in there that can play some hockey. So Aberdeen being right up the top there, they've taken the championship. Congratulations to them. Right, Elite League, Mark, you were saying.
Yeah, let's start
crazy weekend. Crazy weekend. Anytime you have Cardiff and Belfast back to back in Belfast, it's going to be nuts. Now, the long and the short of it is the Devils take the first game, and the Giants take the first game, and the Devils take the second game in OT. 3 points for the Giants, 2 points for the Devils. Devils mathematically can still win the league. They're not going to win the league. I think they have to win out, and everybody above them basically has to lose every game. It's not going to happen. But they did the Guildford Flames a favour because the Flames headed up to Sheffield and beat them in OT, meaning like if Guildford win their game in hand now, it's going to go back to 2 points, which let's say this is after this weekend. That would then tee up Belfast Guildford on the last Saturday of the season in Belfast, tied on points. Come on, let's go. Ooh. Or they could be tied on points after that, and then it would come down to the last game of the season. My maths is pretty shit, right? So don't be like a Steelers fan and start crying. Oh, it's not Valley, it's McNally. Meh. Fucking wide your neck in, you losers. It's not even what the video was about. Like, honestly, the amount of like people that have commented going, right, the very first person that commented, we put a post underneath saying, yeah, our mistake, our bad, didn't realise it wasn't Valley. We didn't realise it was McNally. But then like every comment was about, yeah, you know, you got the players wrong, you don't know shit. Why? Because I'm not a Sheffield Steelers fanboy and I don't know what your players look like. We watch and are involved with the NIHL 1, North, South, National, Elite. We're going to get some shit wrong every now and again. So try not to take it too personally. We won't.
Oh, exactly. We can't get everything right. We always get players' names mixed up and everything. It's just the nature of what we do. It's on the spot. We don't really edit.
Wait until you hear me try and pronounce some fucking Romanian or Slovakian names. You're going to have a shit fit then. So I got nothing. Literally nothing. Announcer guy, not announcer guy, not a foreign name guy. I try, but it's the worst because I always do the intro and I always have for like all 200 plus episodes. I forget a guy and I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say his name. I try and then I'll be practicing, and then because I've got ADHD, the more I practice, the more it turns into 17 different fucking names in my head. And now I don't know which one of those 17 names it is, and I'm just sat here going, yeah, that doesn't sound right. No, that doesn't sound right. And then you go through all like 17 and go, right, it's none of them. Like, absolutely screwed. But it is what it is. And then you get them on before and you start talking, you ask them a question and they tell you how to say it. And I was like, yeah, I don't have that in the bag. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, so we try to be professional, but we're not professional. Like, this is fun. And if you get your feelings hurt, I'm sorry. And if you get your feelings hurt by us saying a fucking different player's name, grow up. You're adults. I believe some of you even said like you worked in the industry of like helping people who do suffer from autism and stuff like that. So you get, we made mistakes. Chill out. It's cool. Mark, other hockey, going with that. I think we had Waller scoring a goal. We had Bouncy making big saves. We had Cooper stepping up from Leeds to Belfast, scoring a goal to make it 3-3. Just like loads of different storylines all over the weekend. We've had the fans sulking at each other on Twitter, and we had the best coach meltdown of the season.
Yeah,
Adam Keefe was really trying to shut that bench door. He really was. He was trying his hardest. I'm pretty sure, like he's gonna get a bill from the SSE. Damaged 8 panes of plexi just with his sheer manpower.
Rink maintenance on call.
Yeah. For those that haven't seen it, it's on our Twitter. We retweeted somebody that was at the event. I think maybe behind the net. And yeah, so at the end of the game on the Sunday, it's just got Kiefer and he's stood there just going to town, slamming the gate. And he must slam the gate 4 times, maybe 5 times. And everyone's like bitching at him. I was like, fuck that. If that's my coach, I want to run him for a wall for that guy. 100%. Yeah, like he might be pissed off, but he's probably had a very good reason to be pissed off. They lost at home in a fucking title race. He's pissed off.
Yeah.
It's only 1 point, but it's a fucking huge point at this stage of the season.
You get more people complaining if you walked off that ice just silent with no emotion. I don't know. I think you get more fans like, oh, he doesn't care or something. But, you know, you see him do something like that. And, yeah, like you say, you're going to run through brick walls for him. So, anyway, let's run through the results from Saturday in the Elite League. So, the Flames beat the Clan 5-4. The Storm. So, Manchester.
Also, 4-point weekend for the Flames at this stage of the season. After their like little mini capitulation, that's massive.
Yeah,
massive.
Storm 4-2 against the Flyers. Steelers 4-1 against the Panthers. We had the Giants 3-1 against the Devils. We had Blaze 5-3 loss to the Stars at home.
That was a big surprise for me. That was probably the biggest surprise of the weekend. I know Coventry then role reversed it the day after. They went up to Dundee, took 2 points back. But yeah, I wasn't expecting Dundee to do that. So shout out to them. That's a huge result. Coventry being a fucking wagon at the minute. Absolute studs.
Oh, yeah.
We have a Coventry player coming on in a very hot minute, but I'm not going to tell you who it is because I want to build some suspense. We haven't had any Coventry players on yet. You would have probably heard us waxing lyrical about him at some stage of this season, so it might be easy to figure it out. But we're not going to let you know just yet. We're going to go back to the Elite League results and go to the Glasgow Clan. Massive Sunday result for them. Going into Fife, beating them 5-1 at this stage, especially after the Stars had picked up 2 points on the road on Saturday. Clan had to go in and beat Fife, and they did it. And it spurned one of my favorite tweets of the year so far. Brilliant banter, and I wish I remembered who tweeted it. Obviously, a Glasgow fan tweeted at Fife saying, "We come into your barn in a must-win game and all but eliminate you, beating you 5-1 while you're wearing your granny's tea towels as a shirt." I was like, that's fucking too good. Too cool for school. They're the most hideous retro shirts I've ever seen.
Yeah, they're hideous.
I think they got voted, like, I don't even know what we voted them when we had them, but it wasn't a good score. They were the worst ones for me. But yeah, terrible result for Fife. 1,900. Shout out to Fife though. On the other hand, bit of positivity. 1,900 people in the old barn against Dundee. Love it. Absolutely love it. That's what it's about. Support the boys, whether it's win or lose. I mean, it's a bad result for the team. And again, the Duty M out crowd. They're out in full force. But I don't know what they're going to do because Mark, you probably know better than me with regards to the table, but I believe what Fife are a couple of points back on the Clan, and
Yeah, it's
then
still a game in hand. They're 3 points behind Clan with a game in hand.
Forgive the horrible cut, guys, but in fact, we just took a 2.5 hour break in between that, not only to let you guys know live about the charity game. I had a sports massage client. Mark had to get some food. We had to take care of some little bits of business, but we're back. So if we do talk about the same thing again, just forgive us. But I believe we were wrapping up talking about the Clan dummying the Fife Flyers 5-1. We were getting onto the fact that we briefly touched on the fact that Dundee beat Coventry on the Saturday in Coventry, then only to go home and then lose at home 5-3, I think it was.
6-3.
6-3 to the Blaze. So another win for the Blaze. Their form of late has been very good. I believe they're like something like 7-3 in the last 10. Look very solid leading into the playoffs. The Stars, that could have been a potential huge weekend for them.
Yeah.
If they had managed to secure the 4 points. They did the hard part. But then I would argue the other way. And it's interesting because I was talking to Ben O'Connor about it with regards to actually when they played in Dundee and then had to come back down and play in Sheffield against Sheffield in Guildford. Sheffield played at home that night. They were straight home from the rink, fucking ate food, went to bed. Well, same thing for Coventry. Yeah, they lost on Saturday, but they lost. They had a 4-minute drive home, ate food, slept in their own bed. And then Coventry Dundee is not going to be a horrific trip. It's not going to be the easiest trip, but what, 6-7 hours? They probably still got to stay in bed until 8 in the morning in their own bed. Get up, enough time to cook your pre-game, probably leave at 9. Piss stop at like 11:30, proper stop at 12:30. Up in Dundee by 3:30, 4 o'clock. Whereas Dundee left Coventry, probably get home at, sorry guys about the dog on the YouTube video there, but Sky, shut up. We just lost Mark as well. Yeah, so like I was saying, Dundee would have had to leave Coventry post-game, stop for some food, then drive home, couple of stops en route. They're probably not getting back till 5:30, 6 in the morning. And then they're having to unpack their kit, try and hope that your kit's aired out and dried by then. I know they've got equipment managers and stuff, but it doesn't always work like that. 20 guys wet, soaking kit isn't easy to dry. So these things do have a factor in it. I think the Blaze probably had a better night's sleep, but it's a capitulation really, because I think that's probably put the nail in their coffin, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So shootout between Clan and the Flyers, with the Clan currently sitting in the driving seat then.
Yeah, it looks that way. Clan have picked up a few very important wins, so it's kind of really put a lot of pressure on Fife, who have, took a 5-1 hammering.
Can I also talk about Stevenson?
Oh,
right.
Unloading.
Right. Not only does he tee off on the Flyers, which I'm all for, not because he's a Flyer, just because of the way the situation went down. And I don't know, it's maybe one of them, we didn't check the game notes, but Fight for Fighting podcast, fight of the year last year in the East Coast was Gagnon against Stevenson. And they stand there and actually have a massive fucking face punching contest, like old school toe to toe. Well, Gagnon's been one of the toughest over here for a while. So you know that if Stevenson's going toe to toe with him, probably a pretty tough guy. Like, he's probably pretty tough, but it's not that. It's the fact that as he's skating off the ice, he's given the Flyers this one, and then he's like it's like he's pretending he's rolling up his sleeves. He's pumping the crowd. They're going crazy. He's squared up with a mascot. Mate, it's fucking funny. It's so funny. Like pantomime villain style. It just rolled into your bum, beat you 5-1, dummied one of your players, and then absolutely just baited 1,900 fans inside the old barn. It's funny times. Mark, what else is going on? What scores have we missed?
We missed Nottingham Panthers at home to the Manchester Storm. They lost 5-1.
Manchester Storm, when you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah.
And they've been very good of late. I know our boy Sully's currently on the IR. I tuned in to watch the YouTube highlights of the Manchester game the other day. DeLuca's a weapon, by the way. Critchlow, weapon as well. But yeah, Sully was on comm, so I gave him a text. Obviously, he's got a little injury. I think he's trying to rest up before the playoffs here. But it's good to see Manchester in this great place. They're in a great place.
Yeah.
If you'd have said to them before the year, you're going to finish sixth, you're going to be in a battle for whatever, sixth place, I think they'd have snapped your hand off, realistically. I don't think they're under any illusion. They're not supposed to be competing with Sheffield Steelers, Belfast Giants, Cardiff. Maybe they should be competing with Guildford. But the top three, they shouldn't. And I think this season they've done a very good job. I think in his first season, McGinn's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's stamped his authority on that team. We talked about before when they first announced it way back when, we talked about in the podcast how it'd be interesting to see the goalie who gets to see the whole fucking shit. He gets to see all of it. He gets to see all of it. Every single thing on the PP, on the PK. Sorry, guys on YouTube. Sky, shut up! Fucking dog. She's just whining and whining and whining. I'm not getting up to go and let her out. I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, we speculated on what he was going to be like. And we said he's probably going to be very good. He gets to see all of the ice. He gets to be involved in the plays. And now he's behind the bench, having basically got to watch 54 games a season from the best seat in the house. I think goalies generally do make quite good coaches. Pete Russell's a prime example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. You get the best view on the ice. You read the games, you read every play. You're going to learn a lot more than, say, a player in that respect. A player's going to have a different angle on things, whereas a goalie is just sort of reading everything as it's happening in front of him.
Yep.
He's not in on the play because he is such in that respect.
Well,
Like the overall, apart from making saves, like the majority of the time, you want to hope he's not making saves and is watching his team move forwards and watching the lines roll on and off. And
taking the ice and putting the puck deep and how they set up on the PP and what's effective and what's hard to save as a goalie and what's the hardest thing on a 2-on-1 as a goalie, what's the hardest thing on a 3-on-2, what's the hardest thing coming out from the back of the net. He's got experience in all those because he's probably played against some of these guys that he's now coaching against. He'll know their tendencies. He'll be able to speak to Brodeur. I mean, we had Marty in the country. If anyone wants to check an interview out with Marty Brodeur, he's on Storm TV. Shout out Storm TV. Really good production again.
Yep.
A lot of these elite league teams have fantastic production. I watched Belfast highlights against Cardiff. Brilliant production again. We pumped the Stars up last week. I think they all put together a very decent package and it's great for the league. Just I wish they would get a more centralized thing we've spoke about before, and I'm sure it's a big topic for another video at some point. Will we ever see an NHL.com kind of like game center for the UK? That would be epic. But yeah, let's move on to the NIHL because we've been chatting about the Elite League for a while. Leeds Knights, congratulations to you guys. Champions, and well-deserved champions. Absolute wagon of a team. 4-1 highest defeat in the league throughout the season. Obviously, they had that 6-0 defeat in the Cup against the Phantoms. Well done to Peterborough Phantoms on that. Hell of a performance. Yeah. So the big dog's getting it done. We touched on live. I asked you, said in last week's epi, would Peterborough finish above MK? You said no. I asked you again on the live, with the way it stands, only 1 point. Will they finish above them? And you still say no, so you've still got MK locked in that second position. Peter, you got to remember, MK have got Leeds back to back last weekend of the season. They might not get anything from that. Like, Peterborough do have an opportunity to finish second. And I think for a couple of weeks there, we kind of slept on them a little bit.
Yeah.
Not slept on them like disrespected them, but just slept on them and thought like Milton Keynes still only need to really get like a few points in the bag and they're going to be good. But if they'd have got those few points a little while back, it would have been second place locked up and they would have still been battling for first place. Yeah. But as it stands, obviously losing to the Bees on Sunday 5-3, that was it. That was all they wrote. And Leeds obviously getting the 4-2 win up in Telford, winning away from home. They go back to the castle. Midnight, I see it all going down on Facebook. They're all chatting. Even Kieran Brown's getting on Facebook. He's pumping the fans up. And midnight, they roll into town and it's fucking rammed outside the rink. Like a proper hero's welcome. I thought that was really cool. Yeah. Kids there as well. Shout out to you parents that took your kids. That's fucking awesome. They got school on Monday morning. I get that. But like, what a great experience to be a part of. Those kids will never forget the night that mum and dad let them stay up late to come back and watch the team come home and like celebrate with the team. That's an amazing thing for those kids and for the adults as well. But like for the kids, like that's a hell of a thing. So shout out to you parents that like went out your way and did that. I think that's really cool. Now I'm a parent, like I would get that. Like, you know, if Brody fucking supported the team and that's what he wanted to do, then I guess that's what we would do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
they're
that's cool.
Building that winning mentality up in Leeds, and it's a big sports city. They've got huge potential now with winning the league and the media getting behind them in the city with the newspapers or whatever it is. You know, it's really going to pump them, and I think you're going to get more fans trying to get in. You're going to have a lot of sold out games next season. I think like every game.
Oh, sorry, Aaron. Sorry, Aaron. I love you really. But have you seen the meme that's been doing the rounds today? And I don't know what the original meme is, but it's a girl in a red dress with like pigtails, and they've superimposed Aaron Nell's face on it. And next to that is a guy in a suit, and they've superimposed Steve Nell's face onto it. And the caption's like, "But Daddy, I wanted you to buy me the league title." I think it came off the NIHL banter page. People keep sending it to me all day. Whatever way you look at it, the Nels have well and truly got their hands all over that National League. Swindon is still a good outfit. Don't sleep on them for the playoffs. You never know. I think they got the Steel Dogs, which is probably one of the toughest tasks you could get in the playoffs in a two-legged battle.
Yeah.
But what Steve's done up in Leeds has been nothing short and phenomenal. Leeds Chiefs finished the league bottom 2 seasons ago. Leeds Knights finished 4th last season. Leeds Knights finished 1st this season. I know it's not the same organisation, but for the organisation playing out of that rink to go from 10th to COVID year to 4th to 1st, fucking incredible.
Yeah, and a place that's never had a hockey team before as well. You know, that was a completely new setup there. And credit where credit's due. Yeah,
I think it's great. Is there a danger of it ever becoming the Las Vegas effect, where you get all like the razzmatazz and you make the cup finals early doors, and then you have a couple of barren seasons? But then, as I'm saying that, I'm going to announce
a big sports city.
Oh no, it's just I meant as in terms of the team and the success. But I was just as I was talking about that, I might as well announce that they've signed Cole Shooter back for another 2 years to go along with Brown and Gospel. Don't know. Don't know. Answer my own questions. Yeah, they're still going to be a fucking wagon. Oh, I don't know if you forgot about it in the Elite League, but it's all over Twitter. It's all over Facebook. Hazeldine and Hazeldine giving each other the old push behind the net. And Arch puts on there today. 18 years of pushing his fucking buttons. He puts out there. He's like, knew exactly what to do when Angry Joe come. I was like, I love that. Bit of brother banter on the ice in the Elite League. We've lost Mark again, but I can ramble. We're going to talk about the fact that the Basingstoke Bison, they turned over the Romford Raiders 9-3 on Sunday after beating the Bristol Pitbulls 4-3 in overtime on Saturday and losing 7-2 away in Swindon on the Friday. So 4-point weekend out of 6 for Basingstoke. Huge at this time of the year. Huge to pick up 9 goals. I mean, I've been going to all the Bison home games this year. They've never looked like scoring 9 goals once. They've done it that night. Shout out Alex Stampy. Alex Stamford, he is joining the RAF. And he signed off on a hat-trick. And he had 3 chances, 3 good chances in the first period. And it was like, oh, come on, kid, fucking score a goal in your last game. and then he missed those chances. I was like, oh, they're going to try and tee him up, and they did. Teed him up, they did, and he bagged a hattie on his last game. Max already secured his fucking signature to try and boost his plus minus in the old RAF games. Mac will be the guy over near the bench with an oxygen bag while Sampy's running riot. But yeah, hell of a career so far for Basingstoke. Maybe we'll get to see an Adam Rosebottom type situation where he does step back and play some games at that sort of level. Obviously, he does it with the Bees. I know he's going to come in. He's early doors. It's a bit different in the stages of their careers. He's probably going to have a lot of training and stuff to do early on here. But yeah, sounds like he's taken a great career path for himself. And this goes back to the debate about the Elite League and all these other things of why the Brits not take that. Well, because they want to go and do shit like this. Go and serve our king. Go and serve our king. That's what he's going to do. Yeah, king and country. Like, so yeah, shout out to him. Military service. Love that on this podcast. Obviously, with Mac being an RAF boy as well, it's something that's always going to be something that we root for. What else has been going on, Mark? Who else had good weekends?
Let's give Bison some credit there. We said before about their home record was scoring 1 goal in 3 games. Home games, and they've gone and scored 9. So fair play, respect for that. We called you out when you didn't score, and then you've gone and scored 9.
By the way, Gail, sorry, I put an ice cream in my mouth. That's fucking freezing. So cold. My teeth were like, oh. Gail scored 2 like little dragging snapshots. Nearly blew the back of the net off on both of them. Like, it was like blinking, you'll miss it, and it was over the kid's shoulder. And he was like, "Oh." Bison look good. They look good. It's the best they've looked for a while. Again, though, I would say it's the worst I've seen the Raiders play.
Well, they've been decent this season.
Do you know what I mean, though? So you don't really know how to judge either performance.
Yeah.
It's hard to judge. Missing Morris, missing Doughty, missing Kells, missing Jones for the Bison, missing James, missing Connolly, missing Scott for the Raiders. So it was a lot of like crucial players missing for both teams. But you can only play what's in front of you, and the Bison went out and they put 9 goals past them. So shout out to the Bison. Bees and Steel Dogs. Bees, right. We were sat watching the stream separately, but watching it. So it's 3-0. Like, fuck it, I'm going to run over to the shop. I came back from the shop. It was 3-0, yeah? 3-0. The shop's fucking 8 minutes there and back, including being in there. Turn the stream back on. 8-4. So, what? What just happened? It wasn't even gone for 10 minutes. What happened? You can tell me, because this is why I didn't say to you that I'd gone, because I wanted you to fill me in on the pod. I don't even know what happened.
No, it just reminded me of that game against MK. It was the same sort of thing. It was just fucking one after
floodlights
after the other. Yeah, that was it. It's just
floodgates, not floodlights.
Floodgates opened. It was crazy. And
then Phantoms, they had a good weekend. They win in the cup. They win in the league. 3 wins out of 3.
6-4 win away at the Raiders.
Yep, and then they beat someone 4-1 on Sunday. Who was that?
They beat the Steel Dogs at home 4-1. That's a great result.
Great results all over them.
Yeah, Steel Dogs are a good side, and we spoke about them thumping the Bees in the blink of an eye.
Sky, shut up.
And then go into Peterborough. Well, Phantoms are just on absolute fire right now.
Yeah, they're very good right now. So are Leeds, even though they got beat 6-0, I wouldn't read too much into that. How many times have they been beat 6-0? 0 would be. Bobby Chamber. I tell you what, I put a story out a couple of weeks back, and Bobby Chamber. I said I don't even think it'll get to the. And I said more we on the pod. I'm just saying because it's me that typed it. And Bobby messaged me back. I said I don't think you. I didn't to them directly, just out there. I don't think you get to worry about MK versus Leeds on the last weekend of the season. And Bobby messaged back saying, don't write us off just yet. I think they've lost 3 games since then. It's not great form for Milton Keynes. Tim Wallace won't be happy. No, he won't be happy with their form. No, and this is what I mean. This isn't me sitting there slagging Milton Keynes saying they're shit. They're a fucking wagon. Yeah. They're so good. And that is the thing. They're so good that dropping 2 points to the Bees is not acceptable.
Not with their
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like that, I imagine. Well, those boys know. Like if I played for Milton Keynes this year and we lost to the Bees, home or away, I would know when I got back on that bus or back in my car. Oh, yeah, that's not acceptable. Like there's no point sugarcoating it. The organisation know, the fans know, the players know. This could be enough to really fucking piss them off for the playoffs, though.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be hot in the playoffs, I'd imagine.
They need to be. They really need to be. Otherwise, it could be a bit of a crap season. Which sounds crazy to say. They didn't make the cup.
If they finished second, they didn't make the cup final. They were out in the semi, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And if they don't have a good playoffs, it's like an almost season. It's like, well, you was all right. You were in and amongst it. You competed. But with the roster, I don't think they'll be happy. I think with their roster and the roster of those, and knowing those guys, knowing Stewie and boys like that, they're winners. They want to win. And they'll believe that they can win. And they'll believe that they are now going to focus all their energy on the playoffs. And that would include beating Leeds twice on the last weekend of the season. Because at one stage it looked close, yeah, but I believe it's like 9 points now. Let's say they both get 4 points leading into the last weekend of the season, and then Leeds get 4 points that last weekend of the season. It's 13 points. It's not even fucking kind of close.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? This position could have been false all along, but the fact if Leeds go out and beat MK back to back, could have been a false position all along, because if those games were in, say, February, January, the window would have been huge the whole time. But as opposed to it, that's the last weekend of the season, and it's only just sort of fallen apart now. It could still end up being like a 13-point winning margin, which isn't close.
It's not close.
It's not close.
I never saw
it's 6.5 games. It's not close. It's nearly a month for hockey.
Yeah.
But it could end up being very different. Leeds drop points this weekend. MK go in. They win the 2 games against Leeds. They claw back 6 points, and all of a sudden it goes back to that 2 or 3 point margin, and then it looks like a very tight league again. Especially if Peterborough continue to win in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because then you have 1, 2, 3, and they're not going to be too far away from each other. It still does make interesting readings, because I think that's interesting when you look back over the course of a year, when you see those stats, I don't know, when you're 20, 28, and you just look back and you go, 2 points in it. Fucking hell. That was a hell of a season. You look back and go, oh, wow, Leeds won by 13 points.
Yeah, you see it as a big margin, don't you?
It's just too...
Like, they ran the league well. They sort of have, haven't they? Leeds have stormed the league.
Yeah, so that's...
And it shows no one's come close when it could be potentially 13 points, however you see it. But...
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
But I think they're solid. MK Phantoms are solid teams. I just think Leeds...
There's lots of good teams in that league, and I think the way the development's going, we're seeing some younger guys coming in, which is great. Finn Braden up there in Leeds, Yuha down in Bracknell. I mean, there's way more guys than that. I'm just the 2 that kind of spring to mind. There's good prospects coming through. There's good talent. I want to see Solway make the step. McBain scored his first Elite League point at the weekend. Jonathan McBain plays for Solway. I want to see him up playing in the National League, getting regular minutes, testing himself. I want to see some of those other young GB under-20s boys that we saw in the tournament last year. I want to see them out on the ice competing. mate, the hockey's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's going in the right direction. I think we're going to add an import, add a team. It's almost like we prophesized it and talked about it, manifest it into existence. But we're big believers in those 2 points helping the league massively. An extra import, extra team helps. I don't think Solway joining would dilute the National League in any way, shape, or form. I think it would make it stronger. I think what you would see is guys that are maybe in those elite league teams playing for Dundee. Dundee have won 5 games out of the last 30. How much fucking fun's that?
When they can get a lot of ice time dropping down and playing Solway in the National, it's going to make the league a lot more fun as well. It makes it more interesting. You've got another trip to make, and when you make it into the divisions, like we were speaking about, then when it comes to playoff time, it just makes everything more exciting.
Excuse me, everybody.
12 teams make sense, and the team being Solway would just, that makes the league just, I think, the strongest it can be in terms of team balance. 12 teams, I think, is the sweet spot. Imports to jump up another import is perfect. Yeah, no import netminders. That's it. I always say that.
Yeah, I'm happy with no import netminders. I think it makes the league better because, yes, don't get me wrong, it'd be fantastic to have goalies that could stop 97% of the shots. But as a product, it just means less goals. Whereas you chuck another import out, I would love to see all teams go with 2-1, personally. We're talking about young guys and progression, whether you get to play with like a Jan Krajicek or a Jan Melakar or who else? Loads of guys in that league. Milton Keynes, Mindy Kyrgios. Just I'm just thinking D-man was, sorry. I was just Dwayne Newman. Like, you're telling me like Miko Skinari when Milton Keynes put him back in fucking D. For forward, they put him back in D and he was a savage. Like, you're telling me the young Brits couldn't learn off playing guys like that? Of course they could. It'd be fantastic for them. Let's talk one more subject before we go. NIHL 1 playoffs have been set. We're going to see Streatham take on MK, Solent take on Oxford, Jets take on the Raiders, Chelmsford take on Invicta. I'm going to go Streatham, Solent, Jets, and Chelmsford.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
I wouldn't change my mind on any of those results.
That was boring. Sorry about that. But I imagine a lot of you tend to agree. There's no way on this. I think, I'm not even taking the piss, if Streatham played MK 5-3 for 60 minutes for both games, they'd still win. Not even joking. They've lost Tom Carlon. They've lost Flats. They've lost a couple of guys. There's so much Alex White can fucking do. Stick a broom up his ass, he can sweep the floor on the way out the rink. Like, he's carrying a lot of eggs in that basket on his own. Streatham are going to pummel him into the floor. If Streatham really want to, it could be 20 over the weekend. So Oxford. Now, Oxford have been they've been mixing up a little bit recently and they're getting involved. And obviously they lost 8-0 to Streatham at the weekend, but you can't really read too much into that. A lot of teams lose 8-0. A lot of teams lose 8-0 to Streatham.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they do? A lot. Talk about up north. A lot of teams get gubbed by Solway. They go, oh, they won 14-3. Well, they played Solway. Solway are good. Streatham are good. Solent, I think they'll probably have too much for Oxford, although Oxford could run them close at Oxman's Road.
Yeah.
But
their place, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably too much for them down in the old country road, lads. Jets v Raiders. Now, this is interesting because Jets should have too much for them. And I think Slough, with their shitty couple of results they've had of late, losing to Oxford, they won't be very happy about that. Just the way the results have fallen, they've managed to miss Invicta and Chelmsford. They'll be almost feeling like they should be pumping Raiders and going to the finals in Milton Keynes. Chelmsford v Invicta. Now, this is what this league was built on. The start of that league was built on this rivalry.
Yeah.
And the fact that one of them misses out and the other one's the fucking one that's going to make them miss out, that's exciting. If you're a Chelmsford fan, you're an Invicta fan, friend of the show, Zero Pucks Given, Ben over there. Go give him a follow. Go check out my episode I did with him there. He's going to be bringing some content regarding the Chelmsford Invicta series. It's a mad series. The fact that that's what's ended up being the quarterfinals. We've got a close battle there. I think there won't be much in that one.
That'd be a fun battle. I'd like to see that.
That'd
be a good stream.
Yeah, if you guys have got streams, please hit us up. Drop us a stream. We'd love to watch. But yeah, Mark, I'm looking at our list and I'm thinking we have talked everything that's happened throughout this week. I think we might touch on it earlier. We've still got some jerseys available. Please do head over, buy them, hoodies, whatever it may be. It helps us run this pod. Mark's gonna look different next time you see him. We're gonna have new lights and camera and action, and it's all going on. New microphone as well, which is just going to help our audio, and it's only going to benefit you guys. So that's definitely got to be worth it. Subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Please help us grow, guys. Comment in the algorithm, do all the other thing. I hate to sound like a begging prick, but it really does make a massive difference. Don't forget, Saturday, 5th of August, Slough Ice Arena charity game 3.0, because we had one cancelled. So 3.0 should be our 4th. Bloody COVID, but we're gonna be coming back for another game. We can't wait for it, and can't wait to give you guys more details. But for now, peace.